everyone, welcome. We are Bleeding Tree Gaming. My name's Amy, aka Warpfiend, and I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Tammy, aka the Autumn Witch.
And you have no idea how hard it is for me to be chirpy before noon in the morning, but I am going to try my best.
Technically noon is not in the morning.
Well, you know, we've got like an hour and a bit left. So anyway, welcome. We are discussing today the LVO reveals that were out 5 a.m. our time this morning, and I'm afraid I slept through those. Tammy, were you awake then?
I was. I didn't plan to be, but I was, and I watched them live, and then I fell asleep about 2 hours ago. So if I'm sounding a bit groggy, then it's because I'm a bit groggy.
Yes. Right then, so there was loads of stuff shown off then. Let's have a quick look at everything. So we had Kill Team Nightmare, we had Warcry, we had 40k, and we had Dawnbringers, and we also had Horus Heresy and Underworlds. Jumping straight into Kill Team then. Now this is one that we predicted on here ages ago, although I can't take credit for that. We got the rumour. The rumour was widely available that the Kill Team box was going to be Night Lords versus Mandrakes. And now we've seen the Night Lords before, and now they showed off the Mandrakes.
Yeah, and Mandrakes look pretty cool.
These are cracking models. I love Mandrakes. They've just got such a cool aesthetics. And yeah, especially after seeing how they redesigned the avatar of Kane to have like a Mandrake style face. I was really hoping they'd tackle these soon. And yeah, they're just beautiful. It's funny, they've got all like the flayed skin cloaks, and of course the Night Lords have. So it's yeah, the whole idea of the Kill Team is it's like two specialists in terror, basically. And you get this bit of scenery as well, which I mean cool.
Yeah, it's obviously designed to go with the scenery kit that came out with the last Kill Team box.
Yes, and like you can see as part of a board, that would just be a cool, handy piece of terrain to have. It's not as inspiring as some of the other ones, maybe, but it's a functional piece of terrain.
Yeah, I mean, with Kill Team, you kind of want like multiple smaller pieces than like a big chunky thing.
Yeah. I guess this is just your big kind of platform on the battlefield, and you can fight over it and whatever.
Yeah.
Right, so that's Kill Team then. Moving on, the next thing that was revealed was the new Warcry, and this is an interesting one.
It is. I mean, I'm not normally, you know, one to look at Warcry and go, ooh, but I love these, I love the elves, the river elves.
Yeah, well, we'll get onto them next. Let's have a look at these Nighthaunt first, because Nighthaunt are a range that really does kind of, the ones like Fire Slayers that, you know, they've got a solid design, but
everything looks the same.
Yes. Yeah. And these ones, I think they've done their best to try and distinguish them, like they're covered in flames and stuff. Yeah. But these ones in particular, out of them, I just think are so cool. Like awesome, just flaming ghost models. Like you can't go wrong with that. I'm sure they'll appear in many a conversion.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not that Nighthaunt look bad. These look like really good Nighthaunt, but the thing is, they also look like the normal Nighthaunt.
Yes, they're all ghosties, basically.
Yeah, and the thing is, the way that they're modelled, you've only really got like 2 or 3 different poses that you can have.
Yeah. I mean, there is that with them, but they're just like really good examples of kind of like modern engineering that couldn't really have been achieved in the past. And I don't know, they're beautiful for it, and I like cutting them up for conversions and stuff anyway. So yeah, moving on, we have these, and they're water elves from the Lumineth.
Yeah, I love them. I mean, I love elves anyway, but
These are
uh,
really beautiful. I love, like, sometimes the kind of Eastern aesthetic they've tried to put into the Lumineth hasn't quite worked, and I think here it does. Like, they've got this really kind of, like, I don't know, like martial grace to them.
yeah, I mean, I love the way they've captured the movement on them,
Yes, yeah,
because
definitely.
that's something that's been a bit hit or miss with G-dubs for a while.
Hmm.
With movement, a lot of models have been realized with like mid movement poses as opposed to something that looks dynamic and
Yeah, I really want a 360 view these, and like Games Workshop doesn't even do that on its web store anymore, but
oh
I'd love
god,
to see the 360s on these.
they need to burn the new web store and go back to the old one.
Yes, yes, it's not
It's
fit for purpose.
no, it's absolutely ridiculous. It feels more like a website from like 20 years ago.
Yes. Right, so other than that, you also get this beautiful bit of terrain, and since my brother's collecting Seraphon at the minute, like I had to like excitedly go to him like, oh, it's an old one statue. It's so cool.
Yeah,
Turns out the old ones are just like really big slan, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I saw this, I thought that would be fantastic. That would probably be worth getting like the box
Yeah,
itself.
I love the paint job as well. The paint job is really
Yeah,
good on that. Just really like simple kind of jade stone. Hmm.
yeah.
And yeah, so that's the next Warcry edition. I don't know if they said when that's coming out. I don't know if they said when any of this is coming out.
They did not. So
I
it
did.
was they gave a vague timeline of in the future.
Yes, yes, that tends to be how they do things.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the next part is pretty exciting for 40k. We had
Kroot.
Kroot, and we'd seen rumor engine pics, so we knew there was something coming, and that there'd been rumors for a while. But actually, we have this whole. It's like an expansion for the Tau army as
Yeah.
like a proper Kroot force that they haven't
Yeah.
had in donkey's years. I don't think. I can't remember when you could last field the full thing.
Yeah. Well, apparently this is only the first half of the new range of Kroot, which means that there is more to come. And it will be possible to take an entirely Kroot force that is actually reasonable on the gaming side.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look forward to that. Let's have a look what's in there. So we have two shapers, which are their kind of gene shamans, it says. And there's the war shaper and the flesh shaper.
Yeah.
I really like, oh god, that's so cool. I just love the design of Kroot. They're so good.
Yeah.
It's something you really haven't seen in 40k for a while. The kind of like very kind of primitive patched together look, but then just like random bits of sci-fi in there to remind you that it is actually 40k.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't be more different from the Tau.
Yes,
and I'm
yes.
really looking forward to seeing whole Kroot armies. I mean, this is sort of
that's done.
it's like a sneaky new faction that rather than just having them as an auxiliary in a Tau army,
and
you can have a Kroot army.
It's a good way to expand the range without adding bloat, I guess. Like, oh, we're not just adding another faction, so now there's like, what, 30 odd or whatever. We're adding a sub-faction to a faction. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Space Marines need. They need this, rather than just another box of generic-looking Primaris. Have like different types of Scout Squad, or some different like Terminator-style units, rather than just going with the same design over and over and over again. Kroot. Kroot.
So these are the Kroot carnivores, like your basic troops.
Yeah.
And they've got a selection of different, like, they seem to have the Kroot rifles, like the guy from Blackstone Fortress.
Yeah.
And then some, like, I'm not sure, is that some kind of flamer he's carrying?
It looks reasonably flamery.
And then there's this big, like, I don't know what the hell this is, just like an elephant gun for...
Some form of sci-fi blunderbuss.
Yes, yes. So then you also have the two forms of Krootox. So you have the... what's this? The Krootox Gunner? What's it called? Where's the name? I forget the name. Yeah, anyway, you have this guy. I think the other ones are called Ravagers or Rampagers. Yeah. And yeah, this is perfectly kind of the aesthetic, just like a guy riding on a monster version of himself.
But now, if you take the posing, this looks like the exact same pose as the old Tyrannid Biovore, is it? The one with the
yeah, it does seem similar pose, yeah.
It's almost like they say, well, we've updated the design, but it's still a classic pose. Let's
yeah.
Let's get the Kroot in on the tribute game.
So yeah, that's that one, and then there's the these are kind of more, that's a like fire support platform, and then these are more just your heavy cavalry basically.
Yeah, and they look fantastic. The whole movement that's modelled into these.
Oh yeah, look models. At the way this one's knuckling along there. That's amazing.
It's absolutely superb. These models are fantastic, and I would be tempted at some point in the future to maybe grab some, even though I really have no interest in playing Tau.
Yeah.
This might be an army that I go for.
They are beautiful. I'm trying to think of something I could convert them for to justify buying them. Okay, moving on. Right, this is another model I just absolutely really love, and it's the Daughters of Cain. It's the she's like a crone seer, Crothusa the crone seer.
It looks like Seer has let her fringe grow out.
Yes, yeah. It's just such beautiful composition on this model. These beautiful wings, like the way the lines on the staff kind of just kind of mirror the bottom of the arch of the wings, and then you've got like the round arch there and the other little birds there. It's just such beautiful composition that I really can't wait to see what people paint on this one, and because
that texture on the wings as well, the feathers, is fantastic. I mean, this is super goth, and I love it.
Very much so. And it's nice to see, like, at least some sign that Morai Heg has made it over from the old world.
Yeah.
I always thought Morai Heg was the coolest of the elf gods.
Yeah, and there's burbs on the rocks. I love me a burb, especially of the Corvid variety.
So yeah, this is coming with Book 5 of Dawnbringers, which may be the last part. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed if we're getting any more past this. But it's also coming with the standard army box thing. So you got the Doomfire Warlocks and the Witch Elves.
Yeah. It looks. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to paint this model at some point. Whether I find someone to commission it for me or I just pick it up for myself just to paint. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. Moving on then, so we had more Age of Sigmar stuff. We had this Callus and Toll, which they're characters that have been in a bunch of the books, and I guess they're in the Dawnbringers one. I'm
Yeah.
not too familiar with them, but as kind of like just like an elite squad for the Cities of Sigmar that's got a mix of stuff. They're just some of the best models for that faction, I think,
Yes.
even amongst all some absolutely fantastic ones. So you've got the classic like Witch Hunter there, twin flintlock pistols, looking like a badass. That is an amazing
completely impractical in a combat situation, but looks fantastic nonetheless.
Yeah. You have like the kind of sneaky assassin with the rope. That's cool. I love that. I don't know why this appeals to me so much, but it just makes me like giggle like a child.
See, the first thing I thought when I saw this on the live stream was, oh my god, that would be so easy to turn into like an inquisitorial retinue or something.
Yeah.
For 40k.
Well, talking of inquisitorial, look at this one. That's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, that is
very like 40k nobility, especially with like the metal half of the face.
Yeah, see, that model you could find an excuse to use it in any game system out there. It would be fantastic. You could like pop it into Star Wars Legion. You could use it as a chess piece, or
absolutely.
And you know, it's perfect.
But that cat has just got the most startled look. Like, I love it.
He's mad. He's mad. He's a mad boy.
And then you get a Stormcast, and the Stormcast has a little Gryph-hound. So
yeah,
there we go. It's a nice Stormcast. It's got a big like key on his back, held by 2 skeletons. I did not read anything about why he's actually got that, but yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Good for him. He's got his scaly lads and a griffin.
Yeah, the details there, the little cat, and
yeah,
there's just some beautiful models in this kit, and I think it's absolutely great. They've got a new book with it as well.
Yeah.
So Age of Sigmar has one more thing, and that's Underworlds. So this is just like a random undead warband, and so you've got a necromancer.
Yeah.
And she has like some undead. I think they're called beast touched undead.
Yeah.
So or what do they call them in here? Not death rattle. That's the skeletons. They've got a fancy name. They've got fancy names. We don't always remember them on this channel, but
no, because fancy names tend to be quite convoluted when GW does it.
So these are beautiful like zombies though, with I think beast touch. I thought they'd be more bestial. Like the first one's quite kind of like hunched spine and that, and then this one's like it's just like a spine on the back.
Extra spine.
That's what this one's the coolest though. I love that. It's just like it's kind of bursting from his chest. He's got his hammer and chisel there, and his like skull face. Living his best life.
Oh, living his best unlife, maybe.
Yeah, and this is like the necromancer's husband who's been cursed into like werewolf guy, I guess.
Yeah, this is basically Beauty and the Beast, but true to the darkness of the original story.
And it's nice. These are just some very grim, very beautiful models, and I think kind of working on an Elden Ring inspired army at the minute. This is very much the kind of thing that could fit into that aesthetic.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be buying it for conversion bits. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I can also see many conversion options with it. It looks great. This is a really, really well done warband. Sometimes they can look a bit simple and
I like it when they've got a solid theme and they just like have some crazy stuff around a theme.
There's a lot of storytelling just with the models.
Yes, so that's a cool Underworlds one. Last thing, we had a whole army shown off. Well, I suppose the Kroot were a whole army, half an army. But we had the whole Solar Auxilia, and I think everyone knew, again, this one was coming down the pipe, what with them having the Legions Imperialis released beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty sizable release for the Horus Heresy coming up. So it launches in the form of like the Solar Auxilia battle group.
Yeah.
And in it you have the standard troops, which again can be used in like 40k as guard equivalents fairly much, which all of this stuff can be. Yeah, just some really nice, really detailed troops. You can see they've got the slightly more kind of like technologically advanced look than 40k ones do, or most of the 40k ones do.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a 1930s Saturday matinee serial type, very sort of Buck Rogers, you know, with they're in a jumpsuit and they've got bits of metal pleated on it, and then apparently that means they can like walk out into like the vacuum of space.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I will say is like I guess it's an established design, but it's not so much of an iconic one as like Cadians or various like older suits of marks of power armor and stuff, like Krieg. I can think of like a million more iconic looks than this, but
yeah,
it seems kind of generic to me, which maybe this is your dream idea of like a perfect future soldier.
But it's kind of like Krieg. There's no like individuality amongst them. They are just they are meat for the meat shield.
Yeah, well, they also have a command squad, which has just got like all your basic guard command squad things, like your assume that's like a commissar equivalent. I don't know the names of them for the Solar Auxilia, I'm afraid.
No, they will have completely different names for units that have like almost identical roles as the ones in 40k.
So you have the radio operator. Sorry about that, my computer beeping at me. Yeah, and like the icon bearer and all that. And we also have the tanks for them, and well, tanks vehicles. First of all, you have the Dracosan, the armored transport, and this one looks to be pretty sizable, way bigger than the Lehman Russ.
I'd say going by the scaling on the blokey hanging out the top, that it's probably about the same size as the Rogel Dawn. Which is a hefty boy, the Rogel Dawn.
So you have that. You have the heavy Sentinel that was in the Legions
weird.
Imperialis.
It looks really weird, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, they're like just
they're really leaning into the boxy 1930s sci-fi design with it, and it's fantastic. Lots of brass fittings and a completely impractical shape. Nothing is really done for aesthetic purposes.
With that much weight, like if those missiles fired, I feel like it would just send the whole thing like flying backwards.
Yeah.
But beautiful anyway. It's very cool, very 40k.
So this
it was.
This is
Lehman Russ.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the reasons, like, because you know I'm doing my Valhallans. One of the reasons I haven't picked up a Lehman Russ for it, and I went with the Rogel Dawn, was because the Lehman Russ kit is like 30 years old, nearly.
Whereas, it's certainly getting on.
Whereas this, I'm going to be buying a couple of these at least.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people who play Guard in 40k are just going to want to pick up these instead of like the current 40k one. Just like a classic kit, redesigned, bit more ornate, a lot more kind of trim going on there.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And this isn't the only variant that they're bringing out either.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll, yeah.
See some of the other like gun barrels for it that come in the kit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
once you've got the Lehman Rush chassis, there's a lot of upgrades they can do from that.
yeah. I am looking forward to getting my hands on at least a couple of these.
Right. Well, let's go back to this model. This has been an interesting little reveal. Like, I say little, but there's like basically 2 whole armies revealed here. I don't know why I feel this is quite small, but it was certainly full of some like beautiful models and a lot of tempting stuff. Is there anything you kind of think that you were hoping to see?
Well, I mean, I know it probably comes across as a bit first world Space Marine player problems, but I was kind of hoping to see the Assault Terminators, which we all know are coming, and
Yeah.
it's been what, like 8 months now since Leviathan came out and like the new regular Terminator squad was out. I was hoping we'd see something more about the Terminator captain that was promised like months ago. Heresy wise, there's I'd like to have seen some more like Legion specific Space Marines, but then I'm a Space Marine player, so naturally I want Space Marines.
I mean, as a Chaos player, I was hoping we'd see something about the upcoming Chaos Codex, but like, I think it's nice to see a reveal show where they don't do Space Marines. I think that is really a good break for people, so they don't get too oversaturated.
Yeah. Now, with the Tau Codex being announced, and with it coming with a range refresh, I'm hoping that is something that continues, because the next release is Dark Angels with something of a range refresh. So I'm hoping that armies that haven't had much of an update in recent years, or those that have been sort of like neglected on new units, are going to get a little bit of love with each codex, even if it's just like a new character, like the Admech got their super stilty boys, and the Necrons got.
But at the same time, I don't think it should always just be characters. Like when they you're ending up with like a surfeit of characters in some armies, and like it would be really nice.
Primaris lieutenants.
It would be really nice to see something like, they get the release, they get like a vehicle or a type of squad or something like that. Instead of just always a character. But anyway, that's just
release wise, Space Marine's got a new load of stuff. Tyranids have got a new load of stuff. There are a couple of new bits for the Admech and the Necrons. The Dark Angels have got a load of new stuff. And then Kroot, obviously, like a whole new sub-faction, like full-sized army. I've got something. So I'm really hoping that with every codex release, that those armies get a little bit of love in the form of model releases. It makes me wonder what we'll see. I mean, will they be changing up the Grey Knights kit, and you get like an updated Grey Knights Terminator kit, or with Blood Angels we're going to get new Sanguinary Guard or something like that.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it's like, I'm hoping that it's a sign of things to come, that every army is going to get a bit of love this year.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for watching. We've been Bleeding Intrigue Gaming. We will join you in the next one. We have painting videos coming out very soon, and we have more of our Faction Spotlight series coming out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and join us on Facebook.
Yes, we're easy to find. Type Bleeding Intrigue Gaming into Facebook.
Well, thanks very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.